Vancouver's up for sale, and I'm surprised. I'm very, very surprised because I thought the next team that was going to be relocating was going to be San Jose, and I think everyone thought the same thing too. Little did we know it was going to be the boys up north, a little bit up north from San Jose, Vancouver on the chopping block, up for sale. Ownership group confirms Kerfoot is the owner, as we know, right here, and his little minions as well are going to be selling the club. So, what is that gonna look like now? Now we know he's gonna sell the club, right? That's a given. But now will the club stay? Is Vancouver gonna stay in Vancouver, or are we gonna see the new ownership group move Vancouver to maybe a Las Vegas, maybe Indianapolis, maybe Baltimore, maybe Detroit? So, okay, I don't know who that is. Who the fuck was that? So now, could we see Vancouver lose the Whitecaps to an American city? Now, that's a discussion that we're going to have today. I think it's very possible. I think a lot of other people think it's possible too. I think Vancouver fans even think it's possible, as they should. Again, this isn't the first time an MLS team was slighted like this. This happened with Columbus. Columbus got very, very lucky that they were able to stay in Columbus, but it almost happened before, and it might happen again, and it might happen for real. Now, a lot of people want Ryan Reynolds to buy the club, to buy the Vancouver Whitecaps. He has a team called Wrexham, and I'm pretty sure now they're in the I think they're in League One because they keep moving up and up. I know when he first bought the club, they're in the fifth division. They keep moving up and up though of the English pyramid. But he does have his own club, Ryan Reynolds, and he does spend a good amount of money on it. But the thing is, though, if he wants to buy this team, the Vancouver Whitecaps, it's going to cost around in the ballpark of 400 million, maybe even a little bit more. Again, an expansion fee right now is 500 million. If a team wants to join Major League Soccer, you're going to have to put down at least 500 million. Or should I say just 500 million right now? Not at least, not yet at least. But they're going to be trying to sell the Vancouver Whitecaps for around 400 million. That's a lot of money. Now, when we let's look at his net worth. Where's his net worth at? Let's see. Right here. When you look at his net worth, he is worth 350 million and his wife is worth 30 million. So when you combine that, 380 million, that's a good chunk of change. But is it good enough? Is it good enough to buy the Vancouver Whitecaps? I don't think so. I think if he wants to buy the Vancouver Whitecaps, he's going to have to go in with someone else, kind of like what he did with Wrexham. He went in with I think it was Rob. Yeah, he went with Rob. And so they're 50-50 co-owners, I'm pretty sure. I think that's how it works. I'm not too sure Wrexham, but he's going to have to go in with maybe someone else, maybe another group or investor group or something like that. But I do hope, Ryan Reynolds does buy the club. I think it's a super long shot. I think maybe there's a less than a 1% chance of it happening. If it does happen, I'll be very, very happy. I'll be very, very impressed that he does pull that off. But I feel like the more sad reality is an investor group of, billionaires. Again, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing being a billionaire and investing in an MLS club. But the bad thing is a lot of these billionaires, they don't have ties to any of these clubs. It's probably going to be an outside group, not even from Vancouver. And they're probably going to see, hey, this Vancouver club, they don't have any assets. They don't have a stadium. They don't have a training facility. We'll get into that a little bit later. They really don't have anything. It's best for them just to take the club, change the name and move it to somewhere else. It's less money than an expansion fee. Move it to somewhere else, maybe to Las Vegas. Las Vegas would be a sick, sick place for an MLS club. And I think everybody knows that. Look at the Golden Knights, how good they're doing in the National Hockey League. Move it to somewhere else, build a stadium, build it up, and then, you're golden. And then you're good. And then you can just let the asset just ride. But this is probably what's going to happen, I think. So as we see right here by Peter Schott, he's saying the same thing. Training facility isn't theirs, and neither is the stadium. As as much as I would love to see a more sophisticated group embrace Vancouver with a new direction, the reality points to relocation, which would be cheaper than expansion. Again, I might have just copied exactly what he just said because I thought it was that good of a tweet. And what else I thought was a good tweet was the retweet to this tweet, which was this one right here. Peter is not wrong. Vancouver is the least strategic market for Major League Soccer, and the club ranks 28th. It's pretty bad. Out of 29. Second to last. Sadly, something tells me Commissioner Don Garber, who has no love for this town, would welcome a relocation. And yes, he would. Don Garber, he doesn't care about any of these clubs. He just cares about the money. He just cares about the money. He would have let Columbus go like that if the Hansley family didn't step in. So I think it's going to happen again. All the signs are pointing in that direction. When you look at the Vancouver Whitecaps, when you look at their fans, I'm not ranking their fans or anything like that, but in terms of atmosphere, in terms of attendance, they rank, in the middle of the pack to a little bit below of the middle of the pack. So they don't have the best attendance. They don't have the best atmosphere. So you really wouldn't be losing that much there. The biggest thing that you would be losing, though, well, there's two big things. One of them is the competition in Vancouver. There's really no other professional sports teams that are playing in Vancouver other than the Canucks. And I think there was another team called like the Tigers, which was, I think, the Canadian Football League. Pretty sure, don't quote me on that, but the Canucks are probably the biggest franchise in Vancouver. But that's the only competition that you have. When you look at other markers, take for instance LA, you're competing against these soccer teams that are competing against so many other teams. So that is big for Vancouver, where the Whitecaps are one of the biggest teams in Vancouver because there is no other teams, there is no other competition. And the second thing that Vancouver has that not a lot of teams have in Major League Soccer, there's only a couple that have this, is history. They were founded in 1973 in the NASL. That's a very, very long time ago. December 11, 1973. Actually, that's almost, how long ago is that now? That's almost 50 years ago. No, it's over 50 years ago. Yeah, that's a long, long time. That isn't a tremendously long time. So to be losing that history, in the NASL, then coming to Major League Soccer a little bit later, but they would be losing their history, and people don't like that. We're gonna see if they are gonna relocate this team, we're gonna be seeing an uproar, maybe even bigger than Columbus had, and hopefully that makes this team stay in Vancouver because I want to see it stay in Vancouver. I want to see dream scenario. This new ownership wants to see them stay in Vancouver as well. Build a stadium, get better players, spend more on salary, really care about this team more than Kerfoot has ever cared about them before.